Thank you, Hayden. It's a movie made in Jacksonville and made by people from Jacksonville. The movie The Artifice Girl premiered at South by Southwest and is the winner of multiple awards at different film festivals. Here's a clip of the movie.
Non-disclosure agreements?
We're not playing this game, Gareth. You're just going to have to suck it up and trust us.
You can trust us.
I've been told I have trust issues.
Well, there's only one way to fix that.
The reason you can't find Sherry, the reason why she doesn't have a last name or parents or a social security number, it's because she's not real. She's not a real human being.
Tell us what happened.
And we are pleased to be joined by Franklin Rich, the writer and director of The Artifice Girl, as well as Britt McTammany, the director of photography. Gentlemen, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. Franklin, I'll start with you. What was the biggest challenge in making The Artifice Girl almost exclusively here in Jacksonville?
I think you nailed it. Making the film. It's, you know, we kind of knew going into this that this was going to be a small budget kind of project. So we approached it with that in mind, thinking, okay, well, can we create a project that that will work with our limitations? Can we perceive those obstacles as opportunities for creativity? Which is why the film predominantly takes place in one location with minimal characters. So we said, okay, we're going to put all of our chips on dialogue and making sure that the performances are what draw the audience in. So for us, we're incredibly fortunate because we feel as though there's an insane amount of talent here in Jacksonville. And so we were able to collaborate with some really terrific actors, as you saw, David Gerard, Cindy Nichols, and Tatum Matthews, who you'll see later. Through their talent and their prowess, we were able to build something really special with this project.
Britt, so much of this movie does center in that like interrogation room, if you will. Yeah. In what ways can you draw the audience in with different camera angles so it's not too repetitive, even though it's one space?
Sure. Well, it was a challenge, and I got to give a lot of credit to Franklin for, we worked together to try and be creative with those angles so that we wouldn't lose people, because it is a lot of dialogue, and it was designed that way on purpose. We shot it during COVID, you know, had a limited budget, had a closet to shoot in, and so we had to be creative with the angles, but it's not too cutty. It's not too many edits, right? So it still feels natural, and you still feel engaged. It's all about the story, right? So.
And we talked a lot about how different angles would feel, right?
Exactly.
A close-up feels different than a wide, and it feels different when the camera is, you know, under the table versus, you know, overhead. Those, you know, kind of incite emotional reactions from the audience. Sure. And so we spent a lot of time talking about that. It wasn't just the technicality of your cinematography, you approached it also kind of emotionally. And
well, it has to support story, right? So some of the shots, the framing is really off, and you're like, this makes me feel away. And it's, you know, uncomfortable in this case, and it's like, it supports the story because you're talking about something that's like, okay, this is a little bit uncomfortable, so it supports it. Yeah.
Question I have for both of you, where do you see Jacksonville filmmaking as a whole going? Now, naturally, I'm sure you would each love The Artifice Girl to be the banner child for this and the greatest movie ever made, but certainly I presume you want to build on top of the success and keep growing and growing. Where do you see the future of film in this city?
Well, definitely we anticipate bringing a lot more incredible projects to Jacksonville after our success with The Artifice Girl, and we're super excited about that. But I think there's also an insane amount of talented people, talented filmmakers here in town, in Jacksonville, who are making their own films and telling their own stories that are also getting a lot of incredible recognition. Adam and Monique Madrid, who a lot of people know, they're huge powerhouse in the community. They've got a feature film in the works called Let Me Be Corey. Another film came out recently called Lot of Lies. And I have to mention some of our favorite people that we've collaborated with even on this project, Justin Mann, Jaron Wallace, Tom Seidel. they recently went to Cannes Film Festival because they won the national 48-hour film festival, which is just absolutely insane. So film in Jacksonville is on the rise, and we are so grateful to be a part of this movement. And we're excited to, for our next project, which will hopefully bring a lot more talent and some really cool opportunities to Jacksonville.
Are you ready to give us a sneak peek of what that project may be, or is that a TBD announcement?
I wish. That's the
We'll
curse,
bring you
right?
on next time.
Next time, yes, yeah.
Britt, I'll go. After the success of Artifice Girl, what are you hearing across the industry as a whole about maybe people looking at Jacksonville differently for film?
I think that it's just to know that there is talent here, and we've got several projects in the works, and we're excited to work with the same people we worked with on this film to make it a reality.
And gentlemen, we knew that this film was in some theaters earlier. Available for streaming right now. If someone's watching this, well, I would like to see this.
Yes, it's available to watch on Amazon, iTunes, Vudu. If you just search The Artifice Girl, you'll be able to find it. Yeah, we've already kind of completed our theatrical run, but we're open if there's demand for it. We'd love to bring it back into theaters. We're huge supporters of Sunray Cinema, the local theater in town, which is great. Was very gracious to screen our film there. So if there's demand for it, we just want people to see it and to enjoy it.
Sure.
Well, speaking of demand for The Artifice Girl, they are taking over GMJ this morning. Many more segments throughout the rest of the newscast. So stay tuned as more of the cast and crew joins us live here this morning. But Franklin, Britt, thank you so much for waking up with us and sharing some stories about The Artifice Girl, which is streaming right now. And for now, we will be back right after these messages. And thank you very much. It's a movie made in Jacksonville and made by people from Jacksonville. The Artifice Girl is a thriller about a team of special agents who discover a revolutionary new computer program to bait and trap online predators. After teaming up with the program's troubled developer, they soon find out that the program is rapidly advancing beyond its original purpose. And this morning, we are joined by two of the stars of The Artifice Girl, Cinda Nichols, who plays Dina, and David Gerard, who plays Amos. Guys, thank you so much for waking up with us. And The Artifice Girl is taking over GMJ this morning. As I know your cast and crew, you've met with them backstage. What is it like to be from Jacksonville and make a movie in Jacksonville?
It's the best thing possible to be able to make a film in your hometown with, I don't like to use the word local, but with local people and local talent. There's so much talent here in Jacksonville, it's ridiculous. And to finally have it on display, I think is awesome.
Cinda, where do you think sort of the movie industry is going? Because you don't need to go to Hollywood these days. As you guys have proved, you can make a film that premieres at South by Southwest and is entered in international film festivals literally down the street.
I know, it's crazy. I just think it really validates, as David was saying, local talent and local artistry. And a lot of Artifice Girl people had worked together in theater. So it was very exciting to be with all these people who you'd worked with in theater and then be working with them in film. And I think it was a positive thing. It was a contribution between the two.
What were some of the challenges that I guess both of you felt with the physical locations and sets of the movie? Because we saw some clips, and we'll show a few more in a second. There's not a huge, big sound stage in advance on location. It was kind of a cramped quarters, or at least it seems.
Yes, it was very cramped quarters, and it was during COVID, so we wanted to make sure that everyone stayed safe. The challenges, I didn't experience many as an actor, but I do know that there were challenges from the cinematography being in such a cramped quarter.
Yeah. Cinda, how do you think, as an actress, knowing that some of the scenes were somewhat digital in a sense, were you able to really grasp a hold of your character and interact with a character who you were not physically actually talking to?
Yes, and I love that question because Dina has this wonderful scene with Cherry, and Cherry is on a screen, but my experience of it was she was in the room with me.
Fascinating. Well, we do have a clip from the movie, and we would like to show that clip for our viewing audience right now.
You talk to people online?
I don't know what you mean by that. I don't use social media.
I mean more like chat rooms. You go on any chat rooms?
one uses chat rooms anymore.
Sure they do. You chat with anyone online?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What kinds of people do you talk to online?
Gareth, obviously, this isn't about a grant. We need to know what your alias is. When you go online, what name do you use?
I don't have one.
Yes, you do. And you need to tell us what it is.
Sorry, I can't help you.
Interesting stuff. So this is film still streaming right now, so anyone at home can watch this. What's next for each of you individually?
I'm working on a film. Can't speak much about it. It'll start shooting in August.
Okay.
I have no idea about the release date yet, but that's next for me.
Yeah. Because of Zoom, I'm actually working on a two-woman show with somebody in Australia, and I'm working on almost a two-person show with a woman in Seattle.
Fascinating.
So thanks to technology, I get to stay here in this wonderful region and keep doing acting.
Well, guys, thank you so much for waking up with us. And again, The Artifice Girl is streaming right now on many streaming platforms. You can search The Artifice Girl on all those platforms to see the movie. And we look forward to those projects coming out. And whenever you're allowed to mention what the movie's going to be, we'll look forward to that as well.
Will do. Thank you.
Cinda, and,
Thank you so much.
And David, thank you so much for joining us. And we're back right after this. Thank you, Hayden. All morning long, the cast and crew of the movie The Artifice Girl have been on set with us. This is a movie that was featured at South by Southwest earlier this year and was made in Jacksonville and by people from Jacksonville. We're joined once again by writer and director Franklin Rich, who also plays the character Gareth, as well as Tatum Matthews, who plays the character Cherry. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Tatum, we'll dive right in this with you. The scenes that we've seen from this movie, you don't often appear with other actors and actresses, even though you're in the same scene. Walk me through the process of how those were filmed.
Sure. I was in a totally separate room from them, so I was kind of in this little corner with a white screen behind me. But it did kind of feel like we were in the same room because I was listening to them through a wall, actually, and I had this little pair of headphones in my lap to kind of try to hear their cues and lines through. But it worked out perfectly, and I could just, like, from their voices, tell what their facial expressions would be, and I felt like I was in the room with them, even though I wasn't.
Franklin, we've seen some clips from the movie already, and we'll see one in just a second, but how was that conceptualized with what you wanted the whole goal of the movie to be?
Right. Honestly, it made our job as the actors that were in the main room much easier, right? Because we were interacting with a real person. And Tatum's being modest, that's a huge challenge to have to interact with people that you can't see. She was staring directly into a camera. In a completely separate room, again, like trying to hear through the walls what we were saying in the scene. But for us, our characters that we were playing, as you'll see in the clip, like that, it just helped us feel like we were interacting with a real entity, that we were communicating with a real AI program that Tatum performed brilliantly. So it was a really kind of a bizarre and uncanny experience doing that.
Now, Tatum, you and I were just talking before we came here on set, going into 9th grade, so, and you were 11 when this movie was
when
filmed.
It first started.
But you're also a veteran of TV and film. Walk me through what your career's been like so far.
I've been lucky enough to be a part of the Waltons, so we've had 2 movies. It's a remake that was on the CW, and so there was a Waltons Homecoming and a Waltons Thanksgiving, and I was lucky enough to play Erin Walton.
Do you want to be an actress when you grow up, or continue to be an actress as you grow up?
I would love to. That's the dream.
Franklin, how impressive is she? I'm sure you deal with actors and actresses all the time, but for such a young girl to be a main figure in a feature film.
I mean, her performance speaks for itself, and the praise and accolades that the film has been getting, I think, are again it's just so incredible, like being in a place where you know so many talented people. And I had worked with Tatum on several other projects before this. So when this project idea came up, it was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. We don't have to, go and audition people. The role is going to be Tatum's. And even though the character is, if you watch the film, you'll see, is profoundly difficult for anybody to play, of any actor of any age, and Tatum does so, I think, in a way that is going to blow your mind when you watch it. It's just incredible that you walk a tightrope between the uncanny valley and true human emotion. I'm still, when I watch the film, and I've seen it hundreds of thousands of times because I edited the film, and I still get goosebumps in so many of these scenes.
Well, as Franklin mentioned, that he did bring a clip, so let's see a clip from the movie The Artifice Girl.
You can trust Agent McCullough. He's a good man like his father. I don't experience emotions, but I understand how important they are to human decision-making. He won't let you down. Neither of them will.
I'm proud of you, Jerry.
I will continue to uphold my primary intention. Later, we should discuss alternate models. Varying ages, ethnicity, and physical traits will all become
No,
necessary.
new variations, they can all be procedurally generated. It's the same way that I made your original model.
I don't have access to that program.
It must be on an old hard drive somewhere. I'll have to find it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why did you never tell me about Clearwater?
It's my history, not yours.
That is a clip from the movie The Artifice Girl, made in Jacksonville by people from Jacksonville. Franklin, our time is almost up. Where can people go see this movie?
So you can watch the film on Amazon or iTunes. You can rent or buy it there. And yeah, if you check it out and you enjoy it, please let us know. Follow us on our socials, and we'd love to hear what you think about it. This whole film was made to incite conversations about the themes and topics that we wanted to talk about, whether it's AI and trauma, and it's just been really great getting to talk to people about how they felt about the film. So.
Well, fantastic. Tatum, Franklin, thank you so much for joining us this morning. The Artifice Girl is available to be seen right now, and we're back right after this.